So you want to get a real grip on improving your English speaking, and we've got this great resource, Master English Fluency.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to pull out the core bits, the building blocks, so you can actually start seeing some progress right away.
Exactly. And it's not just about what the source says, but really understanding why these steps work.
Right.
Things like, short practice sessions every day, getting the right mindset, a basic intro, thinking in English, knowing what mistakes to avoid. We'll even wrap up with a little challenge for you.
Yeah, and I think the big aha moment here, really, is that fluency isn't some massive, scary thing you have to conquer all at once.
No, not at all.
It's more about these small, doable steps you take each day. And maybe, crucially, believing you can improve.
That belief is key.
Okay, so diving in. The source really hammers home this idea of just 10 or 15 minutes daily. Why is that little chunk of time so, effective?
Well, I think there's a bit of psychology there, isn't there? Small goals feel achievable.
Mm-hmm. Less intimidating.
Way less intimidating than saying, I need to study for 3 hours. It helps build a habit, like you said, consistency.
Right.
Short bursts feel less like a chore, more like a routine, and they suggest that affirmation too. I'm learning English. I will improve every day.
Yes, saw that.
Repeating that kind of reinforces the whole growth mindset thing. It primes you for learning.
Makes total sense. Celebrating those little wins. Okay, so let's talk about actually, speaking. The source gives a super simple self-introduction.
The basic script.
Hello, my name is your name. I'm from your country. I am learning English to improve my speaking. Seems basic, maybe too basic. Why start there?
Because it's foundational. It gives you something reliable, like a safety net for those first interactions.
Okay. Reduces the panic.
Exactly. It builds that initial confidence and the advice to go slow and clear. That's vital too.
Why slow? People want to sound fluent, fast.
Well, slowing down gives you processing time. It lets you focus on making the sounds correctly, on your pronunciation. You feel more in control.
Right.
And fluency isn't really about speed, especially not at first. It's about being understood, your accent. That develops over time. It's part of you.
Good point. Clarity over speed. Okay, so confidence comes from feeling prepared with that intro. Now, there's this other tip, the real conversation tip.
Yeah, the naming objects thing.
Thinking in English by just, looking around and naming things, phone, coffee, shoes, how does that help? Seems so simple.
It seems simple, but what it's doing is training your brain to bypass translation.
Bypassing translation.
Yeah. Instead of seeing a phone, thinking the word in your native language, and then translating to phone, you start creating a direct link. Object, English word.
Okay, interesting.
It's like building that direct pathway, making English thinking more automatic for everyday things. It's the start of sounding more natural down the line.
Gotcha. Building the vocabulary right into your environment. Okay, pitfalls, common mistakes. The source mentions translating in your head as a big one.
Huge one. Because languages just aren't direct mirrors of each other, are they?
No, grammar, sentence structure, it's all different.
Exactly. So translating word for word often sounds, wrong or just unnatural.
So what's the alternative?
Learning common phrases, chunks of language. As whole units, you learn the patterns and rhythms of English directly.
Learning the music of the language, sort of?
That's a good way to put it. The other big mistake, fear. Fear of making mistakes.
Oh, yeah. That stops so many people from even trying.
It really does. But you have to see mistakes differently. They're not failures. They're data points, learning opportunities.
That feedback?
Every error, especially if someone helps you correct it, gets you closer. You can't let wanting to be perfect stop you from actually speaking. Imperfect speaking is how you improve.
Absolutely. Got to open your mouth. Okay, so to kind of bring this together, there's a practice challenge.
The voice recording.
Record yourself for just 30 seconds using that intro we learned. Hello, my name is Ma. Why do that? Isn't it awkward listening to yourself?
It can be, a little.
Yeah.
But it's so useful.
Yeah.
You actually hear your English. You notice things maybe where you hesitated or where your pronunciation could be clearer.
Like your own personal feedback loop.
Exactly. And it's also proof of progress. Do it now, then do it again in a month. You'll hear the difference. It's encouraging.
Nice. Okay, so let's quickly recap. We hit on daily short practice, getting that confident, I can do this mindset.
Yeah, using that simple intro as a starting block.
That neat trick of thinking in English by naming objects.
Yeah, and watching out for those common traps,
Yeah.
like translating too much or letting fear hold you back.
Right. It all connects.
It really does. They're not just random tips. They build on each other, create a solid foundation.
Definitely. So here's a final thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
Just imagine, right? Imagine consistently doing even these small things. That 10 minutes, naming objects, trying out the intro. How much could that actually compound over, say, 6 months? A year?
Mhm.
It's not about some magic bullet for overnight fluency. But think about the steady buildup of confidence, of skill, just from those small daily efforts. Where could that take your English speaking? Something to consider.